You are not unlucky. You are afraid of fried 2-3. Afraid to fail. Afraid that if you gave your all and still didn't succeed, the last person left to blame would be you. We hide behind the idea of bad luck because it feels kinder than the truth. Most people would rather be comfortable victims than the responsible authors of their own lives. Tonight, we're going to burn that mask, not with empty motivational cliches, but with the brutal clarity of Nietzsche and the piercing mirror of Jung. If you keep watching, nothing may feel safe anymore, but for the first time, everything will feel like it's yours. There's a soft, warm bed called fate. We whisper things like, if it's meant to be, it will be. Especially when we're tired of carrying the weight of our own lives. Nietzsche called this a slave morality, a posture that hands power over to outside forces. To fortune, to the algorithm, to past drama, to some. La moleste. It's not that hardship isn't real. It absolutely is. But when hardship becomes your entire identity, action dies. Victimhood is paradoxically cozy. If life is just happening *to me, I don't have to risk, I don't have to choose, and I certainly don't have to change. I can just wait for a sign, a savior, a better horoscope. And while I wait, my life quietly gets lived by anyone else bold enough to seize it. Bad luck is really just a respectable costume that your fear wears to social events. It's the fear of being seen trying. The fear of failing without a convenient excuse. It's the fear that success would actually expose how unprepared you feel inside. So you choose predictable frustration over uncertain growth. You say, opportunities just don't come my way. And then you ignore, delay, or sabotage the ones that do arrive. You find yourself repeating the same relationship dynamics with different people, and then you declare that love is just a lottery. Carl Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life end. You will call it fate. Most of what we call fate is just habit wearing a dramatic cloak. We love having enemies. The system, the boss, the ex, the city, the country. Today's demons are modern, but their function is ancient. To protect us from the sheer terror of our own freedom. But what if the real obstacle isn't out there? What if your circle is small because it's safer to remain unchallenged? What if you choose chaotic partners because chaos feels familiar, like home? What if your greatest enemy is the version of you that simply doesn't want to act? Nietzsche's perceived cruelty is actually a form of mercy. The moment the outside world stops being responsible for you, your power finally returns to your own hands. This brings us to *amorphati. The love of your fate. But this isn't about passive surrender. It's not accept everything and do nothing. It's a ferocious claim. Everything that has happened to me, good and bad, is raw material, and I will use it. To love your fate is to stop trying to negotiate with the past. Not because the past was good often, it wasn't, but because it's *. Only those who can look at their entire history and say, yes, this too is part of me, are truly free to build a future without resentment. Resentment freezes time. Amorphati melts it down and pours it into a new mold of your own design. The universe does not conspire against you. It also does not conspire for you. It's simply is *. For some, this idea sounds cold and terrifying, but for a creator, this is pure oxygen. If nothing is written, then everything can be written. Waiting for life to give you meaning is a refusal to *. Make * meaning. When there's no cosmic plan to blame or to obey, there is only your will terrifying, naked, and absolutely real. This is where your freedom begins. There comes a moment when every excuse finally collapses. No more bad luck. No more wrong place, wrong time. All that's left are your choices, the ones you made and the ones you avoided. Nietzsche called this the revaluation of all value moment. When the old inherited scripts lose their spell, and you have to face the abyss, asking, without my old story, who am I? Then, sweeties, you're available to become who you choose to be. instead of who you've been repeating. But for that to happen, the old narrative has to die. You cannot be both the prisoner of your story and the architect of your future. Forget the capes and the idea of superiority. Nietzsche's Bermensch, or Overman, is simply a human being who authors themselves. Someone who takes the chaos of their life and turns it into a sculpture. Someone who stops asking for permission to exist. Creation begins the moment you act without any guarantees. Start the project. End the toxic relationship. Speak the truth that might empty a room. Choose the discipline that embarrasses your old excuses. Real control was never about predicting the future. Control is about creating right in the middle of uncertainty. You don't need a whole new life to begin. You just need a little frictions. Daily rebellions against the old you. Try one honest choice per day. Say yes or no without a long, apologetic explanation. Create something before you consume anything. 30 minutes of making something. Asterisk, then asterisk, you can scroll the social feeds. Replace the phrase, I hope, with I will, and make it specific, dated, and owned. Sit in silence for a few minutes and let the unedited fear surface. Then name it out loud. Each night, review your day without drama. One decision you owned, one you avoided, and one you'll face tomorrow. Always choose the hard, specific task over the perfect, baggy fantasy. A bad first draft is infinitely better than a perfect idea that only exists in your head. These aren't life hacks. They are the weights that build the muscle of authorship. In the end, there are only two roles you can play in your own life. The author, or an extra. Extras wait for luck to show up. Authors get to work and write without it. You don't need certainty. You just need courage. If this video shook something loose in you, don't just thank me, use it. Write in the comments below. I choose control. Not as a slogan, but as a contract with yourself. Then, go do one small, visible act of authorship today. Send the proposal, make the call. Publish the page. Do something the old you would have stalled on forever, because you are not unlucky. You are simply unclaimed. It's time to claim yourself and watch the world follow your lead. Thank you for watching.